Hello, welcome to a longer fictional motivation episode. This episode is going to dive into Star Wars and the use of codes and examining a few of the codes in that universe. Hope everybody's doing awesome. So, got some notes right here, so I'll be reading them. So if you see me go back down, up, down, up, down, that's because I'm actually reading from what I've written. But to go into detail, I think everyone has a certain code. What is a code? Code is a systematic collections of laws and regulations. It is also a set of conventions governing behavior, activity in a particular sphere. So if you just have to figure it out, even in life, everyone has their own kind of codes, their own kind of ways of being. We even hear about some popular codes, like the warrior code, an honor code, whether it be honor with during a war or honor amongst thieves as the term may come across. There's even a code of the streets, which is like hip hop references of like living on the streets, what you do and what you don't do in certain areas. But could nerd geek culture have an influence on codes? A way of life, if you will. Can some codes even make you a better person? I think they can. And to start off with, we're going to start with the codes from one of the most debated and talked about universes in all of geekdom, nerddom, which is the Star Wars universe. In the Star Wars universe, there are four popular classes that have four codes or sayings that help define their way of life. You have the Jedi, you have the Gray Jedi, you have the Sith, and most recently, a new addition has been Mandalorians, or in some cases, the more revealed edition. Mandalorians have always been there, but now, thanks to Disney Plus, there's been more of a deep dive into Mandos. So, we'll examine the good guy, or the one that happens to be close to more known. So, what's the Jedi's code right now? Jedi's code has pretty much kind of have 5 lines of text that kind of help them remember all the things that make up a good Jedi. There is no emotion. There is only peace. There is no ignorance. There's only knowledge. There is no passion. There is only serenity. There is no chaos. There's only harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. Now, kind of thinking about that, and from how my mind connects it, it's a very calming but adaptable code when you think about it. Because look at the first one. There's no emotion. There's only peace. It means it slightly kind of shuns a little bit certain kinds of emotion, but goes for that peaceful, that kind of zen emotion. That could also be known as more of a stoic emotion when you're thinking about it. So maybe Jedis in this universe were more of a stoic, zen kind of people, besides, lightsaber battles and stuff. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. Very similar stoic feels too. For example, pretty much Stoics do believe that that pretty much knowledge is power. Knowledge is one of those few ways to gain what you need to gain. So does a lot of cultures. So if you know, you know. There is no passion. There is only serenity. So this is where it goes back to that calming spot, that thing to where it's like, I must control my energies. There is no chaos. There's only harmony. This is where I think that one line is more about adaptation than anything. There is no crazy things going on. There's just a certain kind of flow, a certain kind of harmony that you see that you need to just open your eyes to. And there is no death. There is only the Force. That's pretty much the last one's more like a spiritual belief. There is no true death. There's just going from one thing to the next thing. It's going from one ascension to the next ascension. I like that. It's pretty deep. Now we're going to the Sith. What's the Sith code? Sith popular code, starting off, is peace is a lie. There's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The force shall set me free. Now, this one is a little bit more aggressive, has a very more aggressive tone to it when you really think about it. In fact, in some cases, it kind of shows how the Sith are not only a bit more aggressive, but they're also a lot more ambitious, a lot more determination. Because think about that first line. The first line is, peace is a lie. There's only passion. It basically removes the fact of like, there is no peace. There's only passions, passions and emotions. But after that, it kind of builds off to being more determined, more ambition, more like, I got to get this goal before I get to the next goal. And then when I get that goal, then I can get this goal. You see, it always keeps climbing that ladder. It's more ambitious. It's more aggressive because through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken and the force shall set me free. You can see that in some cases, some people probably might live through this because, they don't see many issues. They just see the next thing that they need to hit. They see a whole big goal. But on top of that, if you break your goals down correctly, whether it's through the method of SMART or any of those other ways to break down goals, you can chop them up in mini goals, or it's pretty much stepping stones to where it's like, okay, I got this one. Now I got to focus on getting this one. Now I got to focus on getting this one. And you keep climbing up until you get to that goal that you've been seeking. So I can see how, in a way, the Jedi and the Sith can be butt heads because one is more like Zen and adapting, while the other one's just more like, no, I'm going to build off this. I'm going to keep going stacks on stacks, racks on racks, that kind of stuff. But what about the middle ground, the middle guy, the gray Jedi? Here's what they're saying is, there is no dark side, nor light. There's only the Force. I will do what I must to keep the balance. There is no good without evil, but evil must not be allowed to flourish. There is passion, yet peace. There is serenity, yet emotion. There is chaos, yet order. So with the gray Jedi, it's more accepting of both sides. It's more balanced when you think about it. If I had to make a political joke, pretty much the Jedi feels like, they'd be maybe the Democrat class. The Sith feel like they are the Republican class. And then the gray Jedi feels like the libertarian class. They just feel like, hey, we gotta have a certain balance to this thing. We gotta have this, we gotta focus on that. And that's what I get from the gray Jedi. They are balanced. They're pretty much the one that accepts that you can't have one without the other. You can't have light without dark. In fact, it's best to see them as just elements, not like opposing forces. But there's no good without evil. It accepts that in order for good to be here, there has to be some sign, there has to be some symbol, some act of evil so that there can be good in the present. However, it also believes that evil must not be allowed to flourish because it knows, just like a lot of us should know, that pretty much too much evil corrupts the world, corrupts the whole globe. And then pretty much the final part is it kind of accepts everything to where it's like, no. You can't have this without this, or you can't banish this without this. There's this, yet this. So it accepts the fact of being balanced. It accepts the fact of being in the middle ground, pretty much being more grounded. But from what I've heard and seen from certain great Jedis, it uses that advantage so they can take advantage of both. If it's fighting someone who's a powerful Sith, maybe it might use Sith tactics. If it's fighting someone who's a powerful Jedi, it may be allowed to mix in Jedi and Sith tactics. Pretty much it accepts that there must be, both of these must be here. They must be coexisting in a way. But the only firm thing that is on is that even though good and evil must, in some form or way, be here at the same time, evil must not flourish. That's the rule. And now, before we end this video, go with the Mandos, the Mandalorians. What is their code that has been resurfaced? Their code is as follows. Strength is life, for the strong have the right to rule. Honor is life, for with no honor, one may as well be dead. Loyalty is life, for without one's clan, one has no purpose. Death is life. One should die as they have lived. This is the way. Think about that. That seems very straightforward. That has very much more nature tones to it. Like, Mandos seem to be, if they were playing Magic, they pretty much be the green and white colors. Reason why is because pretty much strength is life. For the strong have the right to rule. Think about that. The best leaders are the leaders who have went through great, immense struggle, who have overcame such difficulties, and yet they still persevere, they still push on. They still have that balanced attitude. Honor is life, for with no honor, one may as well be dead. See, gives me real warrior code like feels. Like, the Mandos feel like they're the code of the warriors. Like, this is like how, and it goes well, because pretty much with their armor and stuff, they're basically more knights than, the Jedi. Because, the Jedis are known as Jedi Knights. But when you look at Mandos, they literally have the suited up armor and unique armor for each one. Like, it's literally, I think they are almost the true knights of the Star Wars. Jedis are close, but yeah. Loyalty is life, for without one's clan, one has no purpose. Like I said, warrior code, it has old school warrior code, because, when you hear about old warriors, they're pretty much like in a group. They care about family. They care about, the community most of the times. And they know without a clan, without pretty much a group of people, a family, a community to be with, it's not worth it. Or at least for some, it's not worth it. And death is life. One should die as they have lived. They pretty much believe that if you're going to live life to the fullest. If there's death is going to happen. Death is inevitable. Stated in that thing, death is life. Death is a part of life. So I feel that this is more of a warrior code than most of the other codes that we just went over. But I could be wrong. If you like this, please let me know. Tell me which code hit with you the most, or tell me which code that I interpreted hit with you the most. If you like this content, please like, share, subscribe. Please send me likes. Please send me your deets. I have not seen the Ashoka shows yet, but I'm already hearing some good stuff. And from the trailer and me being a martial artist, I can already tell there's going to be probably a lot of connections that I'm going to make with how the Jedi trained versus how martial arts trained, which it's a no-brainer, Martial arts, the art of combat, the way of dealing with conflict. Keep that in mind. Hope you have an awesome day. Hope to hear from you. And stay awesome. Deuces.